Welcome. Today's video is to discuss templates, which will be used to create your home and identity project. We've used templates in the past. If you've taken Ceramics 1 with me, you may have used a template to make a coil pot. You may have used one to make a mug. So even something as simple as a slab mug can be improved by using a template to make sure you have your size accurate, and also to create a sort of three-dimensional stencil. So to work out your measurements beforehand can often help you to achieve greater success on the end product. Because these houses are more complex than a simple mug, it's definitely very important that you make a template. So I have my cereal box, which I have opened up and turned inside out, and I've cut out my first piece. Remember, the measurements are a minimum of 5 inches tall. So to create this, I first started out with a 3-inch rectangle. I then made an X through it, touching each of the edges on the diagonal, and that allowed me to figure out where the true center of this piece is. So then I took a line and went straight up to the top, and then I dragged the roof down. I felt that might be a bit confusing for some of you, so I wrote the steps down here. So step number 1 shows you how you could start out with a square or rectangle, depending on what kind of box shape you would like. And then you are going to connect both corners. From there, bringing up the middle line to create the roof. And you ultimately can decide how tall or small you want that roof to be. So this length is a total of 5 inches. This length is a total of 3 inches, which is fine by me. I'm going to make the side width of my house. So here's a sample house that I have. I'm going to be making this side width about 2.5 inches. So that's the minimum there. Certainly you can go larger, but remember we have a limited amount of time. So we also want to be realistic about how large we make these. So I have measured out my first piece, again, meeting the size requirement. Then I had to decide what's my next piece. Because I'm going to be using this template multiple times, and I'm feeling pretty confident about the end shape, I'm not going to have you cut out multiple pieces. So I'm going to use this piece twice. I'll trace it twice. That being said, if you have any question about if your design is going to work or not, you may want to cut out multiple. So you can see this as final piece times 2. That means I'm going to roll this out twice with my clay. The next piece that I'm going to do is my roof. So as you can see, I took the measurement here. So I used my ruler, and the measurement is about 3.25. And remember, the side width is going to be 2.5 inches. So I always like to, I already measured this and everything, so I always like to add just a little bit to my pieces. So this is like a couple millimeters longer than 3.25, just because I am going to be doing some cutting and I want to make sure to give myself a little wiggle room in case I make a mistake. And then this measurement is 2.5. Again, I'm going to be cutting out 2 pieces. So I wrote times 2 on it. I might also want to write roof, because I don't want to get confused about where these pieces go or which pieces I'm cutting out, because it does get confusing at times, especially if you have a lot of pieces. My last piece will be this side piece. So my measurement is 3 inches. And again, because this is 2.5 inches, this is also going to be 2.5 inches. So like this, these 2 pieces are the same width. I do recommend that you use pencil for this. I used marker so that when I do go to photograph this and during the video, it's visible to you, my students, but I highly recommend a pencil in case you make a mistake. It can be helpful to line up your ruler with the lines of the box to ensure that you are, so I can take my ruler, line it up with the line of the box, and then kind of scoot it over. Again, I'm making this just like 1 millimeter bigger. And then I'm going to connect my bottom here. And again, I can line it up visually with the bottom of the box to ensure that it's straight. So take the time to do that. And then on this piece, I'll outline it eventually, but I might say this is my side and ×2. The last piece, and I'll go ahead and outline that in a minute. The last piece I need to roll out will be my base piece. There is only one of those, and just like the sides, that piece is also going to be 2.5 inches wide. Once you've gotten these done, I will ask for you to photograph them. You'll need to cut them out and then photograph them and place them into the appropriate assignment.